As human beings, every single one of us has a strong natural tendency to be self-righteous. As a result, we tend to always think that I am right before admitting that I may be wrong. On the other hand, while you and I have the tendency and instinct of being self-righteous, it's important to remind ourselves that other people are just the same. When we are holding our own self-righteous ways and think of others as being in the wrong, other people are thinking exactly the same. They think they're right and you're criticizing them. Of course, nobody likes to be criticized, and as a result, we end up having conflicts and fights. On so many occasions, when these conflicts occur, we hear people saying, "It's your fault. I'm right. You're wrong." And the other person will fight back by saying, "It's your fault. You're wrong." Many business partnerships and family relationships are often damaged and broken after fights like this. If you trace back, these fights may be due to very petty conflicts due to perspective differences. Throughout history, many wars between tribes, nations, different religious and political groups were caused by this very reason. People believing that their concepts, ideologies, and beliefs were right, resulting in many conflicts, distrust, and wars. So what can we do to avoid this in our personal and business life? Firstly, understand your limitations. As human beings, we all have our limitations. We tend to view things purely from our own perspectives, but our perspectives are largely limited by our own background, vision, experience, knowledge, and our general understanding of things. We need to be conscious of the fact that our perspectives are limited, and we simply can't be right all the time. What we think is right may not be the case in other people's eyes. Let me tell you a personal story. When I first started my property business, as a boss, things happened in the business that had me concerned. To resolve the conflict, I had two people come into my office, one by one, explaining what had happened. I was shocked to find out that the two persons involved in the same situation had interpreted the situation totally differently. Immediately, I was trying to figure out who was telling the truth and who may be lying. After a while, as similar things happened again and again, I realized that they were all telling the truth as far as they were concerned, because they were purely interpreting what happened from their own perspective, their own angle, and for their own personal interests or desire to be right. Nobody was lying. It was simply seen from different perspectives. By consciously developing the awareness that we all have our own limitations, you'll be more willing to look at things from other people's perspectives and correct your own self-righteousness. The second important factor that I encourage you all to think about is to openly admit that you may be wrong. It takes a big heart to recognize the fact that you may not be right, and it takes great courage to admit this fact. If you find it's too hard, start by simply saying to yourself, "Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he or she is right." Then we'd extend it by saying to the other person, "I know how much courage this would take, but you will be surprised how holding this approach could change things for the better and make you feel empowered." Simply imagine, if you were walking down the road and accidentally bumped into a person, how would you react if they blamed you? How would you react differently if they first said sorry? Because when you take that approach and admit it that you're wrong, all of a sudden, the third party may realize your true intentions, that you're a generous being who's not there to debate about who's right or wrong, but attempting to move forward, finding a practical solution. Taking this approach allows the other person to think of you differently simply by saying, "Maybe you're right." As human beings, it's our natural tendency to be self-righteous. By constantly developing the awareness that we have our own limitations, that we simply can't be right all the time, and by taking the courage to admit it to other people, you'll be surprised how it can help grow you into a bigger and better person. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this week's video, and if you like the content, please give the video a like and share it with people you think that can benefit from the same content. And also remember to subscribe to the channel for more exciting content to come.